I just wanna touch you once again. I think we could be more than just friends. I can hear my heart say things I'd never thought I'd hear. I can feel just how good it is to be with you. Well guys, Professor O'Kane here, and I'm sure you know by now that Neo Soul is one of the most popular new guitar styles around.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
What I was referring to when I did new in quotations was the veritable plethora, the sea of new Neo Soul, I guess that's Neo Soul guitarists that have been flooding Instagram and YouTube. That kind of new.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
I thought it'd be a great fun bit of crack to do a reacts video and check out what they're doing, what they're not doing. The first thing that we're going to check out is JulestheWulf. This wee clip has been floating around YouTube Neo Soul compilations for a minute now, and I have to confess, I've seen this one before and I love it. Wow, every time. Let's check out the reasons why it sounds as good as it sounds. Okay, so I'm gonna saddle up here with my tam. Yeah, so this guitar is tuned down a half step, just like Jules' guitar is, and pretty sure you can see everything right here. So let's check out what he's doing. Here we go. Beautiful line in the beginning. So this, just to tell you what chords he's playing in the line, this is a first inversion E triad, and notice how all of the notes are ringing into each other. It's almost like they're rolling out of the guitar, and that's a very, very common thing that you're going to hear in all Neo Soul playing, with the exception of, you know, when people go, you know, I'm not talking about that muting stuff. I'm talking specifically about either chords or single lines that they just blend right into each other. I think that's one of the biggest strengths of Neo Soul. Is it really teaches you a lot about note duration, and note duration is everything in that style because it makes it sound fat and emo, which is, let's face it guys, Neo Soul is pretty emo. Now, okay, I'll back up here. Beautiful, beautiful. Now that is right out of C sharp minor pentatonic, right from the pentatonic scale, minor pentatonic scale. Alright, so before we continue, this wee move brings up a very important point, and that is we don't generally find grandiose blues expressions in Neo Soul. They're just not there. And when they are, we could say that it departs a little bit from the true essence of Neo Soul. Jesus, feels so wrong saying, because it's so unlike, you know, a musician to say, yeah, there's no blues in this art form that came from such a heavy soul vibe. But it's been distilled down and it has become a thing of its own in many regards. Is that a bad thing? Well, I mean, if you're looking for something to criticize, yeah, then you're going to just say, well, there's no blues in there and it sounds like soul light or gospel guitar light. But I think that that's kind of not giving what has emerged its true credit. And there's a lot that's actually really cool about this Neo Soul style. It's just one of the differentiating factors that I think is important to bring to light. And that is grit and large blues expressions is not something that's generally found. And I've been watching these compilations all this past week, and it's just not there in most instances. And that's grand. You know, if a Neo Soul guitarist wants to go and check out what's going on in gospel guitar, well, I mean, by all means, bring some of those things in. There are a lot of players who do. Check what Jules was just doing. I mean, he does it. You can tell that he comes from a background that extends further back than just modern Neo Soul. And it's just important to really kind of know the roots of what you're doing. And that's what this Reacts video is about, right? And then we've got this coming up. Oh, you gotta hear this. Now, I've never played this kind of C diminished. This is a C diminished chord, but minus the 7th or the double flat 7th. And the next bit is just total R&B, Neo Soul, dripping with goodness kind of thing. Oh my God, this thing here. Now, I don't know how he came up with that. It's beautiful. This stretch is a killer for me. Oops. So that's a real nice move that I'm going to spend a lot more time on than what I spent previously playing it for you. Okay, so now we have the open string on the C sharp sus chord. And it's great because the high E string kind of covers you as you take your slow motion, so it's like a sleight of hand kind of thing, so you don't really hear the chord move or the fingers come off of the strings. Once again, fattening the whole mix-up. It's not a mix-up, but the yeah, okay. Another brilliant move. That's a bit of that blues thing telling you that he's not just strictly a Neo Soul player. The ending to this is gorgeous. Just class. These intervals right here, you rarely hear like a naked sharp ninth going to a natural ninth. It's just not something that you usually hear. You usually hear closer intervals, or if the intervals are spread out like that, they're usually filled in between, you know, with an additional note. And it's really creative, really inspiring, unexpected. And man, Jules, you really set the bar on this one. I'm going to learn this myself and give it to my students. Okay, so next up we have Achmed Satria. Hope I pronounced that right, Achmed. How young is this kid? Jesus. Now, there you go. Something that's going to fly right in the face of the blues thing that I mentioned. Soloing over Neo Soul changes and playing solo guitar Neo Soul pieces, or, you know, guitar and melody, even if there's a rhythm track behind it, seem to be two different things. It seems that Neo Soul has kind of adopted the love jazz vibe. So yeah, you're going to hear more blues in that, especially with Achmed, because just recently I heard a recording of him and he was bluesing out all over the place. Kind of sounded like Larry Carrollton meets Robin Ford. I mean, the kid's doing his homework. But aside from that, we are going to definitely check out that last line. And you might have seen me make that kind of weird expression on one of those notes there, and I'm going to explain why right now. What I can hear is that there's an F major 7 chord going to an E minor 7 chord going to an A minor 7 chord. Now, what Achmed does is he plays some F major 7 material and then he plays this big F on the E minor 7 chord. So I'm hearing this along with the E minor 7 chord. Now, it could be argued that he does resolve it. You know, he resolves it to the E. It'd be nice if I actually pressed on the string. You could say that it's a resolution, like it's a tension and resolution. But to my ears, and all the years I spent in the jazz ivory tower, God help me. Yeah, when I heard that F, it kind of stands out. And actually, and I'm not faulting Achmed for it, I know that he's thinking F major for all of that section. Something that I end up hearing with a lot of Neo Soul players is that the improvisations are sometimes not really, they don't fall in what, you know, jazz pedagogy would deem as acceptable. I have to confess, I grew up in that world, and so sometimes when I hear something that's a little out, it tweaks my ear, but I always ask myself, is this a good thing? Like, it could be good just because it doesn't fall into the rules. It could actually really work and be very musical. I'm very cool with that. I play traditional music, which has nothing to do with following any of those rules, really. So I have an ear for that, and I understand that, this is an expression, and it's whatever you want to play. If you're just getting it together, stay inside the chord changes, and you're going to be hitting right notes. Okay, so let's check out what he does over this D7, which comes right after the A minor 7. It's a piece of cake for him. He's playing like a 50-year-old guy on a love jazz session, and he just sounds, that line is just played beautifully, Achmed. I mean, hats off to you. What is he doing there? Well, the line goes like this. Okay, so what's going on in here is we have the D9 arpeggio, and then we're just doing like a little enclosure to the third of the chord. Little major pentatonic-y thing here, and a pull off, and right into Pentatonicsville. And then it's almost like we're just talking about F major 7 right there. It's a great line. It's transposable. I mean, it's pattern oriented, and yeah, Achmed, I'm stealing that. The next guitarist up is Kazuki Isogai. It's like Ben Lacey's backbeat. Okay, so the first thing of note is that Kosogi put the chord changes as the title. And he wrote A major 7, G sharp 7, C sharp minor 7. Actually, if you're just starting out and you're looking at these chord symbols and you're looking for a diagram, you're going to be scratching your head because those aren't the voicings that he's playing. The first chord that he's playing is this chord, the A major, or the A6 add 9 chord, and then he's hammering on to the major 7th here. So we have a major 9 chord, but we got there by doing, you know, hammering on to that major 7. Now this next chord that he plays, this is a G sharp augmented chord. So yeah, it functions as a G sharp 7, but the way he's playing it is G sharp, B sharp, and D double sharp is really what it is. And then of course that resolves to C sharp minor 7. But he's playing it like this. And this chord is a C sharp minor 11. When you're hammering down this note, there's no third there, so it's just good to mention that in case you're looking for the chord diagrams and you're asking yourself, like, why doesn't this match? Okay, you may have heard me mention Ben Lacey's name, and in my interview with Ben Lacey, he shows how he would teach how to play a groove with solo guitar, and the G string was functioning as the snare drum, and it was hidden on 2 and 4, the backbeat, and Kazuki's kind of doing the same thing. I'll play what Kazuki played, but a little bit slower. So that sort of thing. And you find that groove in Neo Soul everywhere. I mean, so many people play that kind of groove. Let's talk about this barn burner of an open string lick. So this open lick comprises of the C sharp minor pentatonic scale and some open strings. Now, yeah, these two notes don't belong in the key signature, but because it's going along at such a clip, you can't hear those notes. Yeah, it works, and it actually works really well. So I'm gonna steal that one too. Well guys, I have to tell you something. I had no idea that doing this video was going to kick my butt so hard. I mean, this is really a humbling experience, and I found out that there's a lot of stuff that I'm not that good at, that I need to work on. I also found out something else that was interesting, and that was, as much as I am a proponent of 8-gauge strings, playing Neo Soul on 8-gauge strings is difficult. Basically because of the high string is so thin that it's so easy to miss it. Heavier strings, it's just very easy to press them down, and they actually have more mass to them, which allows them to ring more when you're doing the slides, that sort of thing. So that was real eye-opening too. So this was as much of a lesson for me as I hope it was for all of ye. Thanks for sticking around. I really hope you made it to the end of this thing, because man, I worked really hard in trying to get this out. I sincerely hope you got something out of this, and if you haven't hit the subscribe notification button and bell, do so right now. Okay, see you soon.